Okay, I have tried this 3,000 times. Is it working now? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to anybody that is confused because I'm confused too. I couldn't seem to get this to work, but the chat, I see people in the chat know now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my live stream for the 500th time tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this seems to be going okay, knock on wood. Welcome everybody to my 20k holiday live stream. Okay. Thank goodness, because I don't know what was happening. I'm not very good at this. Welcome everybody. Okay. Yeah, the new creator studio is garbage. So the first stream where everyone thought I'd pocket streamed, that was me using the new creator studio, and I guess I went live, but it didn't show me that I was live. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't see the chat. I couldn't see anything. So, yeah. Hi Manny, Luna. I actually went to El Paso. No, I didn't go to El Paso. I'm sorry. I went to Texas. Was it last year? And I really loved it. Didn't make it to El Paso, but hello. I did love wherever I went in Texas. We did Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. So that's where I was. Mike asked, how have I been? I've been pretty good. I've been incredibly busy. I've been working hard, just grinding along. I've been meaning to do this stream for about a week or so now, and we're finally here. It's finally happening. Thank goodness. Yeah. So actually, Wick David has just brought up something I did want to discuss before we get into any fun stuff. He said, I'm personally not sure of the future of YouTube. I have stopped uploading and just mod streams now. So let me talk about that. Have any of you heard of COPPA, whatever? I just want to briefly discuss what will be happening to, I guess, this channel once that goes on. I've been told by multiple sources that since none of my content actually is intended for children, that I'm fine and I don't have to delete any videos. But with fear, all the fear that's going around, I think that some videos might have to go. And once I learn more or see what's happening to other channels and things like that, I can bring them back. But it hurts my heart to say that potentially, some of the Elf on the Shelf videos might have to go, and those videos have been very successful for my channel, if not keeping my channel afloat, especially during the holiday season. So I'm not sure. My Totoro, I did a video about Totoro, I did a video about Pokemon. Those might be getting deleted as the new year comes and that law goes into effect, because I do not want them to be misconstrued for aimed at children, because they're definitely not. If you listen to them or even know anything about it, it is definitely not for kids at all. But who knows what's really going to happen. I've been watching multiple videos on it, and I don't think that I have to worry, but I also don't want to be fined. So it's I'd rather take the hit, and I can always re-upload them. It's not like I'm going to delete them off my computer. I mean, everyone's been saying, why don't you start a Patreon? Maybe videos that I want to do about air quotes stuff that may be misconstrued as for children, maybe I can make a Patreon and those videos can go on there. That sounds horrible. I don't know. But we'll see. So that's really it. Kind of you know, it's going to be a hit, but I'd rather take the hit, you know, than have my channel deleted or something. You know, it's a small price to pay. But I'll continue doing my research and, you know, seeing what comes of it. I still have a week or so to figure it out. So we'll see what we're going to do about it. It might be as simple as changing the names of the video. Like, I'm not, you know, maybe changing it to like scary elf stories and like changing the thumbnails, which is all a possibility. You know, we'll see what I'll do. And, you know, it's just a matter of doing more research and figuring it out. Other than that, I think most of my video definitely is not for kids. So I don't know. We'll see what's gonna go down. But anyway, yes, 20K. Who thought we would ever get here, guys? Not me. I never ever thought that I would get here, so that's absolutely insane. And thank you all so much, all you, the new people that are here. And I'm sorry if you hear background noise. Thought I was safe. I'm not safe. Why is everybody awake? It's late. Anyway, this is what I mean. I don't have any privacy. That's why I never live stream. But here we are. We're trying our best. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Thank you all so much for 20,000 subscribers. This year has been rough. Like, we all know it. My uploads have been far and few between. My live streams have been almost non-existent. It has been rough, but every day, like I said in the last stream I did, which was quite some time ago, every day I am working hard to better myself, better my situation, and hopefully within the next year or so, we can come up with something where I don't have to worry anymore. I am trying to get my own place or my own house, and that'll fix the problem. So we're just working every day towards that, saving money, doing what we got to do. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. But what do you guys want from this stream? I didn't plan anything. I was like, oh wait, I have a couple hours of free time tonight, and I'm gonna stream, and I didn't think of anything to do. So suggestions? You know, please, suggestions. I'm I don't know what to talk about. Anybody have any questions that if you answer, and I'm like, I apologize if you ask a question that I've answered 600 times before in my other streams, I'm not going to answer it. Like, let's get some juicy stuff here, you know? I want some juicy stuff. I could potentially tell a story. I have to look for some. And they have to be something that was sent to me. I can't just like pick a random one off the internet because that's not allowed. Oh, that's a good one. Manny Luna asked, what's your sign? Capricorn, Virgo? Neither. I am a Cancer. And as my friends and most people in my life have told me, I am a very true Cancer. I don't know much about like the signs getting along and stuff, but I guess Cancer and Cancer would get along. Pretty easy to get along with. All right, let's see what we got here. There's probably some stories on my website that I can read that aren't too long. I have a website. It's displayed on the screen. You can submit stories there. Do I check it often? Absolutely not, because I just suck. But when I do check it, your story will be published and made public on my website. Hopefully one day I can afford to have like a real website. This is kind of not a fake website because it's a real website, but it's, you know, not super legit. Let's see what we have that we can read. That's not too long, and that I maybe won't be able to make a video out of. I did record 2 holiday stories that I'm hoping to get edited and all done before Christmas, right? They're not too long, but hopefully I can get them all edited and up in time. Let's see. Just looking for a story. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, but please, ask questions. Let's see here. This one might be good. Let's see. All right, good. I think I found one. And this is by my good friend. I've never spoken with him, I don't think, but he submits many stories to my website. So I'm going to read one by him. But let's answer a question. Let's see. Did I miss a question? Oh no. I'm going back. Horror Realm asks, what's your worst holiday experience ever? I've been, I guess, blessed not to have like a horrible holiday experience, but my parents are divorced, in case anybody was wondering. And on Christmas, and any holiday actually, every holiday I have to have like breakfast with my mom, dinner with my dad, dessert with my boyfriend's family. And it's like boom, 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 3 houses every holiday. And it is so frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing. I don't even look forward to the holidays anymore because it's just me running around to 3 different houses for the entire day, trying to schedule and spend enough time with everybody. It's an absolute nightmare. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but it's just like, it's a lot. Again, can't wait till I have my own place so that I could be like, hey guys, just come to me. The running around definitely is rough. I do it and I love everybody. It's a long day. Every holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whatever. And just please excuse me for 1 second. My leg is going numb and I have to move my leg. So if you hear like scuffling, that's just me moving my leg so it doesn't go numb. Ugh. Okay, we should be good. Oh no, we're not. Not really. Let me get comfortable. I'm so sorry. If you saw how I was doing this right now, you'd be like, what is wrong with you? All right, I think we're good. And the clinking, like this, when you hear that, I wear a ton of bracelets and they're hitting my desk. So that's what that is, in case anybody was wondering. It probably happens on a lot of streams. Good night, Manny Luna. Next question I see here is from my good buddy Vidith. And if you have not checked him out, you need to go. You can leave this stream, honestly, and go check him out. Like, I don't even care. He's incredibly talented and deserves so many more subscribers than he has. Like, please check him out. He is incredibly talented. You would absolutely love him. He asks, do you ever get tired of reading stories after a while? I don't necessarily get tired of reading stories. If it's like a day where I'm narrating and it's like not going well, like if you're a narrator, like you're tripping over your words, it's just not going well that day, I'll be like, I am so sick of this right now. Like, can you just read? Hello? But no, I guess the process of like having to set up my mic and not having like a permanent space to do it can get annoying. Like, that's what I get tired of. Somebody sent me a super chat and I need to answer their question. So Augustine Irby, I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm going to answer your question now. They asked, how can one advertise their channel beyond just Facebook and such? I've had friends and family who greatly enjoy your content. My mother especially loves you. What can be done to get more subscribers? Well, thank you, and thank your mother for enjoying my channel. basically just like word of mouth, like telling people, showing your friends, showing people. You can advertise on, yeah, on Facebook. You can share it on Facebook. You can copy the link and email it to people, I guess, if you want to. Instagram, maybe. You can't really, unless you have a lot of subscribers on Instagram, I don't think that you can post links. I'm not sure. Twitter, if you have a Twitter, you can advertise the video on Twitter. I guess, I don't know. That's what I do. Facebook is kind of helpful if people use Facebook. But yeah, Twitter is good. Like retweeting, like if you have Twitter, you want to make a Twitter and follow me. When I post like, hey, I have a new video, retweeting and stuff like that is incredibly helpful. And just telling people about my channel, like you're out and you're watching videos and stuff. You have to be like, hey, look at this, I'm still trying to figure it out myself, to be honest with you. Yeah. Let's see. I missed some. Hey, Mortis Media is in the chat. Snake Jazz, thoughts? Mortis Media, I have no idea what that is. And thank you so much for coming into my stream. I'm honored. Look at your wonderful, beautiful, verified check next to your name. That is so cool. Thank you so much for coming to my stream. Again, Mortis Media, check him out. He is, probably doesn't, he speaks for himself, but you should check out his channel as well. He's amazing, guys. I am the worst person to do a collab with at the moment. I have no time. My life is just a wreck as far as scheduling and everything like that, between work and people being around and not being able to record and da-da-da-da-da. He was always so patient with me, and it's amazing. And I apologize for being the worst, honestly. But he's helped me so much, and he's so incredibly patient. If I'm like, excuse after excuse of stuff going on in my life, he still continues to come back and work with me, and that's really amazing. So yeah. I think Swamp Dweller's in the chat. I didn't see him because I'm sorry, but Swamp Dweller is also amazing. Can't say enough good things about him. He's been my friend since day one, along with Bidith, and I probably wouldn't be half the narrator I am without his help. So again, check him out as well. I can't say enough good things about him. And he's so open to helping anybody in the community, and is just a dope person in general. So yes, while I'm up here in this part of the chat, Hoster King, I hope I said that right, says, when it comes to scary stories, what are the elements of said story do you enjoy and why? I really like stories that are like really messed up, and I really like stories that have a good twist at the end, like shocking or evoke some type of emotion in me, all that good stuff. The Demonic Studio says, I subscribe to his channel. Thank you. Whichever narrator you subscribe to, thank you. All right, let's see. Oh, Rick and Morty. I don't watch Rick and Morty. Mortis Media said, whatever he said before is a Rick and Morty reference. I don't watch Rick and Morty. I've seen a couple of episodes, but I haven't like avidly gotten into it. I know. I'm missing a vital part of television history. Maybe one day. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna begin right now to read the story I have found. My phone is really warm, so I hope it doesn't explode in my hand. Anyway, I'm going to read a story called Pacha, I think that's how it's pronounced, by David Arellano. And David, if you're listening or you ever happen to listen, thank you for submitting so many stories to my website. My website is basically stories by him, and I enjoy every single one of them. I think I have to double check. I don't remember what I do. I think I narrated one of the stories, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. For the holiday edition, I have to check. Anyway, if I didn't, I might be wrong. Swamp says, I gotta run, but have a great stream. Keep up the killer work. Thanks, dude. Have a good night, and if I don't talk to you, Merry Christmas. Again, Augustine Irby, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you again for the super chat, and thank you, Swamp, for the super chat. You definitely don't have to do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. This is all gonna go back to the channel, back to me buying a house. I promise. Augustine says, sounds easy enough. I just need to figure out what Twitter, Instagram, and the other one is. I'll do my best. You more than deserve the support. Thank you so much. Yeah, once you get all those going, you can follow me. All the links to my social media and everything in the description. So if you want to figure, if you can follow me from any of the descriptions of my videos, link right to my stuff. So when you get your Twitter and Instagram and everything going, and you figure it out, you can just follow me and go from there. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everything. All right, so let's read this story. Let's see how it is. I haven't read it before, so we're all going to be surprised together. Pacha. He was a man, a simple, nice, innocent man that everyone in the neighborhood could rely on. He always helped anyone with anything, without anything in return, regardless of the time or money it would cost him. The one main thing he helped out with every year, since every other parent had normal jobs and he worked at home, was every Easter. Ooh, it's an Easter story. You might see this on my channel again on Easter, guys. Was every Easter morning before the sun rose, he would go out and place eggs all over the neighborhood and park at the center of it. He did this dressed up as the Easter Bunny, in the case any curious kids bothered to stay up and catch the Easter Bunny in the act. All he ever wanted was to bring joy and fun to the kids on Easter, as well as other holidays, as best he could. He had a fiancée once, but he couldn't give her kids, and the shame tore them apart, more so him than her, as he felt embarrassed and worthless for bringing her such disappointment. If only everyone else knew that about him. So now he lives his life and hopes to bring joy to the kids he would have had. To the rest of the world, he was single, and that's all a jealous lesser man of a stepfather To the rest of the world, he was single, and that's all a jealous lesser man of a stepfather needed to end it all. It only took a joke that turned into a rumor, and soon he was persecuted by his neighbors, friends, and even family. However, without definitive proof to ruin the life of such a nice man, the police could not arrest him. But evidence or not, his life was over. The next year, he still dressed up and placed even more eggs than ever before covering even the forest around the neighborhood. This was now seen as him sneaking around to get a look of his next target, as the stepfather put it. Once again, all it took was the words of a jealous, drunk stepfather. The father's older brothers, that were old enough, got together and got themselves some vigilante justice. They broke into the nice man's house while the kids and wives were out egg hunting and beat him half to death. They left him there for the police, and now so many corroborating eyes and eyewitness reports of him being seen outside of the children's room at night. I'm sorry, there's some grammatical errors and stuff that I'm trying to read. Oh, sorry if it sounds weird. That's all I'm saying. Usually when I'm narrating, I fix it in my head and work through it, but since this is live, Anyway, on with the story. When in reality, he was simply placing a personal egg for each kid to wake up to. When questioned by the police, the group of so-called heroes revealed that none of their daughters, the stepfathers, had been assaulted by the Easter Bunny or ever on Easter for the past 3 years. With help and a great deal of patience, the little girl herself confessed to detectives that the nice man was locked up. He died He died in prison not too long after. He was stabbed and beaten to death in the showers, as is the typical fate of child molesters and rapists, after all. No one mourned for him or attended his funeral, with the exception of his ex-fiancée, who didn't believe a goddamn word of what the world said about him. She knew him, and that's why she loved him. Regardless of him being able to give her kids or not, she would always love him. That's what she wanted to tell him, but never had the chance to. The neighborhood celebrated their heroes. But only if they knew that they got the wrong man. For the rest of the year, the real monster, the stepfather, got to do whatever he wanted to his stepdaughter. Her reward for being such a good girl, he would say. Easter came once again. I just realized I'm reading an Easter story for Christmas. Sorry. Easter came once again, and there was no plans for celebrating it, for there would be no eggs, half ready to barbecue, an endless vault of Capri Suns and sodas for the kids. Yet, when the kids who dared defy their parents to go egg hunting in hopes that the Easter Bunny is really real. One by one, an egg was found, and the sound of excitement and joy from the kids brought everyone else out of their homes. Angry or not, wary or not, their parents let their kids play egg hunt. Even the barbecue was already cooked, with endless vaults of coolers and Capri Suns and sodas for the kids. And they waited for them in the park. The stepfather saw this, and his grand day of opportunity. The stepfather saw this as his grand day of opportunity to have as much fun with his daughter as possible. But not only her. No. He had her invite some of her friends, too, to play with him, and even some boys, too. This is messed up. He lied in waiting in the forest for the park for his daughters to bring him her playmates. The sound of brush being moved behind him let him know where they were, and so there were 3 girls and only a boy, to his disappointment. He told them they were going to play a game. He was going to run around, and they would take off their clothes and get down on all fours so they could be like a bunny and hop around. This is messed up. When he turned back around, he'd say go, and he'd be ready with his camera to record it and show their parents so they would be proud of whoever would win. It was too long and too quiet for the children to have gone along with the game, so he turned around. At first, to his disappointment, the children did not listen to him, but it wasn't because they were smart enough to see through his game. They instead were facing away from him and staring at something he had yet to notice. He looked up and had to know what ruined his fun, and this is what led to his horror. Standing before him, before the children, was what could only be described as a were-rabbit, a black fur, lean, muscular, with long claws and sharp teeth, were-rabbit. To the kids, however, they only saw the typical look of the Easter Bunny, but 10 times the cuteness. He moved his hands back around from behind his back, and they were full of pure chocolate eggs. The kids took them with some tears, knowing the Easter Bunny is real. He then spoke in an almost Chuck E. Cheese-like voice, except less creepy, way less creepy. He told them to go and show their kids what the Easter Bunny gave them, personally. They obeyed happily and ran back to the park, all except one. The stepdaughter, for she too saw the true form of the creature, except she wasn't afraid. She didn't know why, but she didn't feel fear, no. She felt relief, knowing somehow that this thing was her freedom. The stepfather tried to run after finally being broken from his trance of fear, and now seeing the thing wasn't some guy in a suit. His feet only sank into what he thought was mud, but it was actually melted chocolate. Boiling, melted chocolate. He tried to scream, but an egg appeared in his throat, now helpless and muffled, just like the little girl before him. The bunny made his way over to him slowly with a growl, each step extending its black claws. It ripped him apart, starting in between his legs, covering itself and the girl in blood. She cried, but not out of fear or horror, but relief of freedom and guilt. She knew that this creature was the nice man. She doesn't know how it was possible, but she can feel it. She dropped to her knees and cried and begged for forgiveness, gripping its left leg. Expecting it to harm her for revenge, despite freeing her, she was surprised to feel the softest hand wrap around her and lift her to her feet. The bunny simply took her in his hand and walked her out of the forest. Her worried mother was looking for her and spotted her walking out of the forest to find no blood on her whatsoever, only tears of happiness and a large caramel-filled chocolate egg, and her claiming that the Easter Bunny saved her from a monster, and he was right next to her, but no one except the kids could see him. They looked in awe and excitement, knowing the Easter Bunny was real. The little girl slept happily every day until she grew into a woman and left to go into college, knowing he would always be there to protect her and all of her friends on the next Easter and all Easters to come. Merry Christmas! And that's the end of the story. That was, weird that I read a Easter story for Christmas. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that it was an Easter story. But, hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, let's see what I missed while I was reading. Let's see. Excuse me. Ooh. All right, let's see. Mortis Me said, I hope this is a revenge story. And yeah, it was. All right. Hey, Black-Eyed Kid, what's up? Thank you. Black-Eyed Kid said, congratulations on 20K. Black-Eyed Kid says, your last episode of readings was awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? Actually, I know what we can do. There's a subreddit where people post like free, like they're not going to copyright me, like free horror stories. So let's see if there's anything in there that we can read. That's actually maybe the appropriate holiday to be reading. So let me take a look. If anybody has any questions for me while I'm looking, please type them now in the chat. Let's see. Free horror stories. Got it. Let's see. All right, there's a couple new ones here that we can read. Rocco Love asks, do you have any brothers or sisters? Nope, I am an only child. And Mike asked, are my messages showing up? Yes, they are. DJ Zombie Official says, you're awesome. I love your narrations. Keep it coming. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I found a story that we can read that isn't Christmas or any holiday related, but yeah. Christopher Lucero, I hope I said that right. Have you heard of the narrator called the Dark Somnium? Yes, I have heard of him. We kind of came up together. He obviously came up way better than I did. But yeah, we've spoken and been in things together before. He's pretty cool. All right. So I found a story for you guys. It's a true story, apparently, and it is on Free Horror Stories, and it is by Leader of Decepticons. It was posted 1 month ago, and it's called The Doll in the Storage Room, and it is a true story. When I was younger, I'd go visit my grandparents all the time. They lived in a one-floor house with an unfinished basement. I never liked it down there. It felt small for a big basement. There was a little door down there that was for storage, and I always got a horrible feeling when going close to it. And let me add you that this was a newer house, and it was about 6 years old. Now, during this time, I was about 6 or 7. I felt so uncomfortable going down there, even when I was with someone. I didn't like it. I remember going down there with my grandma to help with something. She had to run upstairs because someone rang the doorbell. She said she'd be right back, even though she knew how I felt about being down there alone. But I nodded and said, okay. She was gone and I was alone, and I started to get a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. I didn't move, and I didn't want to. Even though the lights were on, Now, I didn't want to, I didn't move, and I didn't want to, even though the lights were on. Now, this is where everything started happening, and it still gives me the chills. The lights started to flicker, and I started to hear noises and what sounded like talking, and it was not coming from upstairs, but from the storage room. I heard someone say my name, and here's the part that freaks me out the most. The voice sounded like my grandma. I was confused as hell. How am I hearing her when she's upstairs? I didn't want to move, but me being the curious one, I started moving towards the storage room door. The closer I got, the worse the bad feeling came. When I got to the door, the lights turned off in the basement. I wanted to run upstairs and hide, and go home somewhere that wasn't this basement. I heard my name again for the second time, my grandma's voice asking me to open the door and help her. So I did, and I regret it. I couldn't see anything, it was pitch black. I couldn't hear anything but faint laughing, and it felt like forever. But then the laughing stopped, and the lights turned back on in the basement. The lights turned back on in the basement, and I felt a little better with the lights back on. But the downside was I could see a little bit into the storage room. I saw a small clown doll in the storage room, and my grandma hates clowns with a passion and wants nothing to do with them. So why was there a clown doll? I have no damn idea. Then the lights turned on in the storage room. I saw red that looked like blood all over the place. I screamed and blacked out, and the next thing I knew, I was laying on the couch, my grandma looking at me and asking if I was okay. I have no idea if that was real or a dream, but it sure as hell felt real. If you have any ideas, please let me know. The end. And thank you, DJ Zombie Official, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. All right. That was pretty creepy. Let's see what else we got here. DJ Zombie Official says, I hate clowns and dolls. And let me tell you, I'm not so scared of clowns for whatever reason, but I do hate dolls. I hate them so much. They are so creepy. Let's see. Do you guys want me to read more, or do you want to ask more questions, or do you want me to do something else? Let me know. Or I could ask you guys questions. What are you feeling? What are we feeling? Let me know. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Please excuse me. Mike says, I hate Victorian era dolls. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I hate most dolls, especially the creepy porcelain ones. Like, just don't look at me. I hate them. DJ Zombie Official says, do you have a special ritual you do before you begin your narrations? That's a really good question. And mine might be a little weird. Like, you all might think that I'm kind of weird after this. But usually before I narrate, I like to, usually I have to do it in the morning, pretty early, so I like to wake up. And I just kind of, if I am narrating, that means that nobody is around. So I kind of will just like talk to myself for a little bit to get my voice warmed up, or read the story or read something out loud before I actually get to actually narrating it. And then I will go into the bathroom and I will brush my teeth and like rinse my mouth out and make sure my mouth is really clean. I know that's kind of weird, but that's what I'll do. And then I will set up my stuff and I'll get to narrating. So usually that's what I do. I feel like I'll drink some water too. I don't know. It helps me. I feel like when my mouth is clean, I can narrate better. I don't know if that's weird. but that's what I'll do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read another story. This is another true story from the Reddit Free Horror Stories, and this one is by AV Gabs. It was posted 1 month ago. It's a true story, and it's called The 4 a.m. Fire. I live in an old apartment building. I've been there for about 2 years, and my roommate and I have had very few scary experiences so far, except for this one that happened last summer. It was around 4 in the morning when we were woken out of a dead sleep by the fire alarms going off throughout the entire 4-story apartment building. Seeing as this place is occupied mostly by seniors, we figured someone had left a pot on the stove again. I grumbled and blindly grabbed for a blanket. Last time we had a false alarm. I was left shivering and barefoot on the sidewalk, waiting for the fire department. And I wasn't about to let that happen again. My roommate and I put on our shoes, I grabbed my phone and keys, and we poked our head out into the hallway. Nothing seemed off. The hall was empty. No one else had come out of their apartments yet. Reluctantly, my roommate and I walked down the hall towards the lobby. We figured our neighbors would soon follow suit. It was only when we went through the lobby and out the front door that we realized something was actually wrong. A handful of people who had already come out of the building were running and shouting about how the building was actually on fire this time. We followed them around to the side of the building as more and more people fled out in their pajamas, and to our horror, we saw an apartment on the top of the floor belching out flames. People were frantic, searching for water, a ladder, anything. Someone remarked that there was a lady who lived in that apartment who had mobility issues and she needed to be rescued now. And where the hell was the fire department? My roommate was quite disturbed by the whole scene, so we decided to go back to the front of the building, away from the fire. On our way, we saw a guy jump off his balcony to the ground. He rolled when he landed, but I think it still really hurt, judging from how he sat on the grass and groaned for a while. He was lucky to only be on the second floor. There was chaos, yelling, screaming, an odd mix of panic and disinterest, especially among the senior citizens who didn't want to leave the building because using the stairs was so difficult. The fire department arrived much quicker than they ever had before, seeing as this was a real emergency, and it wasn't long before elderly ladies in nightgowns were being rescued via ladders and wheeled off to the hospital next door. At one point, the man who lived below the apartment on fire had a screaming episode at one of the landlords, the one that looked like a walking skeleton with an oxygen tank and a scooter. By the time the fire department got everything under control, it was about 6 or 7 a.m. The sun was up and people were beginning their morning commute. The fire department had blocked off our whole street, which must have been a pain, and the entire population of my building sat on the curb in pajamas and blankets. Little kids, old people, broke college kids, the works. The community really pulled together that morning. The public service gave us a couple buses to sit and warm up in, instead of standing around on the chilly sidewalk. Paramedics handed out blankets and assessed injuries. The people in the surrounding houses were kind enough to bring us water and snacks. One lady brought a serving tray with mugs of tea from her own kitchen and offered it to anyone she could find. My mom came down to rescue my roommate and I. Even though she lived an hour outside town, and I hadn't even showered yet. She brought us breakfast and a change of clothes, as she knew we wouldn't be allowed back in the building. The most disturbing details of what just had taken place that morning came to us as we were waiting on the bus. Everyone was talking about the fire, of course, but one man had a particularly horrifying detail to add. He heard through the grapevine that the lady whose apartment caught fire never made it out of the building. Sadly, we suspected as much, with her mobility issues and all. But there was more. The firefighters apparently found her in the hall. She had made it out of her apartment, but couldn't escape the smoke. Whether she died from smoke inhalation or from burns, we aren't sure. But the one thing that man said that sticks with me is that someone said as they stood outside and watched the flames, they heard the woman screaming, "Help me, I'm burning." I've always been afraid of burning to death, and the idea that my neighbor may have had such a horrifying end is deeply disturbing. I know the man who lived below her heard her screaming. He wouldn't stop talking about it. I think he ended up with a form of PTSD from this event, and I don't blame him. We were all brought to a community center where the fire department and emergency response volunteers helped bring some clarity to the situation and told us what to expect. Everyone was very kind and sympathetic to us. Whatever we needed, they provided for us. I think all of that is pretty standard procedure, but still, I was extremely thankful to the kindness of the volunteers, firefighters, paramedics, and Good Samaritans. It was pretty surreal to be in a situation like that. We had almost nothing on us. My roommate hadn't thought to grab her phone, so she had to borrow mine to let her family know she was okay. We had no money, no ID, none of the essentials, and we had no idea how long we would be homeless. I hadn't been so happy to have my mom with me in a long time. I felt like a scared little girl, even though I didn't show it. We were lucky. The fire happened on the opposite end of the building from us. Our unit was totally unaffected, and we were one of the few allowed back into our apartment that same day. The building stunk of smoke for weeks. Even though the fire took place on the fourth floor in a single apartment, the damage was extensive. Even on the ground floor, the walls were blackened with ash. When they attempted to start fixing up the building, they found asbestos in the walls. People were forced to move out of their apartments, and we're talking people who had lived there for 30 years. I remember the night we were allowed back in our apartment. I wanted to box up most of my important possessions and keep them in my car, as I thought the building was going to catch fire again. My home didn't feel safe anymore, and it wouldn't for several weeks. It would take a long time for us to hear anything about what caused the fire. Last I heard, a space heater was to blame, but I don't know for sure. In the days that followed, the fire was featured on the front page of the local paper. The family that lived just down the hall from us were featured in the picture. The article spelled out details that I had already heard. It labeled the guy that lived below the fire as a hero for attempting to save the lady upstairs. It was a valiant effort, but there was nothing he could have done without endangering himself. I feel sorry for him, and I often wonder if the guilt keeps him up at night. Sometimes I think about the lady who passed away in the building. I listen to a lot of ghost stories, so I wonder if her spirit haunts the place. Her sudden and horrifying death would be the sort of thing to make a ghost linger on Earth, wouldn't it? So many things left unfinished. Regardless, I hope she's at peace, and I hope that my neighbors have been able to find some semblance of peace as well. 4 months later, we've regained a sense of normalcy. Things are back to how they were before. If you ignore the orange tarps around the side of the exterior, the restoration vans that come and go every day, and the security guards stationed in the lobby. The damage wing is still closed, and while they try and sort out the asbestos situation, but for those of us who live in the other end of the building, things are relatively normal. I hope they stay that way. The end. All right. Hey, Cat Daddy and Cornflake, what's up? That was interesting. I feel bad for those people. That's wild. Fires are scary. Rocco Love says, just wondering, do you have any favorite Netflix shows you like to binge watch? Right now I'm watching that show with Paul Rudd, Living with Yourself. That's a pretty good show. I liked Ozark. I liked once someone asked you like what you like to watch, don't you just suddenly forget everything you've ever watched in your whole life? I really liked Hemlock Grove. That was quite a good show. I don't know if it's still on there. It's a bit older, but that show was really, really good. Yeah, I've just all of a sudden forgotten every show I ever loved. I'm corny, and I did watch like Fuller House and that kind of stuff. I've been watching Happy Merry Whatever, or that like Christmas show that's out with Dennis Quaid for the holidays. Yeah. That's... If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. Oh, Stranger Things. Yes, I watched Stranger Things. Duh. Thank you, Dr. Zombie. That's a solid show. Yeah, all that stuff. So, I'm probably gonna keep this stream going for about maybe 10 more minutes or so. We'll see. We'll see. Because it is getting kind of late here. And I am actually going to the into the city tomorrow to celebrate my friend's birthday, and I still need to go home and pack and do all that good stuff. Yeah, I meant, like, you're probably like, why did you say go home? Aren't you home? How are you doing this? I'm actually at my boyfriend's house right now because it's easier to stream from here than it is at my own home. But yeah, I have to go back to my home and I have to pack and get everything ready for tomorrow. I have a lot of stuff to do because it's her birthday and I have to mail out some Christmas gifts. I have to do something for work. So I need to get my butt in gear and get everything done so I'm not scrambling in the morning being all late for things. I am notoriously late. I am absolutely awful. I feel like we should, I don't know, talk about more holiday stuff. What are you guys doing for the holidays? Anything? Christian Burrows says, you are one of the 3 prettiest female narrators out there, you and Duchess Stark. Well, thank you so much for the compliment. Jessica Hendrickson says, I have a funeral to go to tomorrow. I am so incredibly sorry for your loss. Yeah. Did any of you guys ask for anything good for Christmas? I had a whole Christmas list. I asked for a lot of shoes, a lot of different kinds of shoes, like Doc Martens, Uggs, all that stuff. And I makeup stuff from Sephora, girl stuff. I asked for an air fryer. Tell me what you guys want for Christmas, or what you're doing for Christmas, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, what you're celebrating, or if you hate Christmas. I wish I had more holiday stories to read. Like, actual, like, relevant holiday stories. Not Easter. Like, sorry, wrong holiday, guys. The holiday stories I do have, unfortunately, I actually read to have featured featured as a video on this channel, so you're just gonna have to wait. But yeah, despite the madness that I have to go through for Christmas, I am excited for Christmas. You know, it's crazy, but that's what you gotta do. Ned Silver says, I'm working on Christmas. Yeah, a lot of people work on Christmas, or even have to work Christmas Eve, or directly early the day after. I know I wanted to, like, go away for Christmas to kind of solve the going to 3 different places. Like, if we just, like, went away somewhere, like rent a cabin or something like that. But my boyfriend, unfortunately, he's not allowed to take off work the day before or after Christmas. So we couldn't go anywhere because he would have to be back for work, which is really irritating. Maybe next year, because I think Christmas is, like, over a weekend or something next year. So hopefully next year, maybe we can work something out. Rocco Lev says, my boyfriend and I are going to Radio City Christmas this upcoming Saturday. That's really cool. Yeah, I've been to that before. It's a pretty fun show. I hope that you enjoy it. Yeah. Ned Swordmaster says, gonna go hang out with my mom, sister, and niece. My mom can cook like a pro, so I'm pretty stoked. That's awesome. Good food always helps any situation. Wick David says, December for me is not so special. Just doing anything other than the usual of sitting here in my crypt. I'm sorry that you're not doing much. I hope that you can find something special to do. Or if you enjoy doing that, then that's all good. You know, as long as you enjoy yourself and you're happy, That's all that matters, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm really glad that I had the time, a little bit of time to get on here and do this, because I've really missed you guys. I just want to let you guys know that I am trying my best. I know a lot of people are like, upload more, and trust me, I am trying. I am trying. My work schedule has been shifting earlier and earlier, actually, so even the time that I have in the morning has been limited because I have to make sure I'm on time for work and getting ready for work. Usually, I used to go to work at like 1 in the afternoon, and then slowly every year it's just been getting earlier, and now I go to work at like 11, which isn't all that early, you know what I mean? But I don't have an empty house until like 9 o'clock, so that only leaves a small window of time that I could like sit and get together and narrate, and some like longer stories like take quite a long time, and I do need to like do my stuff I need to do in the morning and like get ready for work, and that, takes up a lot of time. It takes a lot of time away from being able to narrate. And I need to leave like at like 10:30 to get to work on time, so it's been difficult. But yeah, I am trying, any chance I get, any little snippet of time, I'm trying to get some stories in, even if they're short. I do want to put out videos, even if they're short. Also, as the merch thing comes up on the screen, I think somebody bought some merch recently. I don't know if it was one of you guys, but thank you to that person who bought some merch. I got the notification that I was paid from Spreadshirt, so that means somebody bought something, and that's pretty dope. I hope that you're enjoying it. I actually do. I own the hoodie with the cat, the black hoodie with the cat face. I actually purchased that my own self from my own store, and it's actually genuinely good quality. I had to buy my own stuff because I couldn't be selling you guys garbage. So I had to know, and it's actually wonderful quality. I have been wearing it quite a lot this season. I think my boyfriend just got home, so you're about to hear a bunch of noise. He just saw Star Wars. I don't know, I guess the movie ended. I don't know if you guys are into Star Wars. I'm mostly just into Baby Yoda. He's adorable. But I could not go see this movie with my boyfriend because the only thing of Star Wars that I have seen, I saw Solo, and I quite enjoyed that, and I've been watching The Mandalorian, and the only reason I've seen those two things is because I don't have to... So I haven't really seen any of the other Star Wars movies. I know, punch me in the face. So the only reason I've seen those two things is because I don't actually have to necessarily understand what happened in any of the other movies to understand what's going on in those things. So that's why I enjoy watching them. And you can comment, how was it?
Good until the end.
Yeah, so if you're going to go see Star Wars, it was good until the end. Apparently. In his opinion. Yeah. Oh. But alright, so thank you guys for stopping by. I'm going to end this in about 2 or so minutes. Because I gotta go. Wick David says, Disney, nope, can and will not support. May I ask why? I mean, I can kind of speculate why, but you tell me. But yeah. Alright, I guess I'm gonna start wrapping things up. Thank you all so much for coming on the stream. Thank you all so much for 20,000 subscribers. That is an insane number. I can't even comprehend. Like, if 20,000 people were standing in front of me, that would be absolutely wild. And I'd probably just freak out. Imagine 20,000 people standing in front of you. Like, that's not a real number. How is that a real number? Like, if the number ever gets any high, like, how am I going to even handle it? It's nuts. And I'm, even with this year being rough with me recording and putting out videos, I appreciate you all sticking by me and supporting me and subscribing, even though I'm not perfect. So thank you all so much. I am eternally grateful. I never thought I would ever get to this point doing this, and I really cannot thank you enough. I hope that you all have a Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate, or a Merry Nothing if you celebrate nothing. I hope that you all enjoy your holidays, and thank you for stopping by on the stream, even though I happened to read an Easter story instead of a Christmas story. So have a good night, everyone, and hopefully I'll be able to do this again soon. Happy holidays and good night.